We're live in Bristol and our AT&T Race Break Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. You can vote from your AT&T phone. Text the car number for the crew you think will be the best. Fan vote along with Jeff Hammond determines the winning crew each week. And we are under caution. Moments ago, Jamie McMurray having some problems. That is our 5th caution of the race.
Now, it's the 4th caution of the race, but he had a little bit of help on that right there. It looked like he got in the wall right there, and then all of a sudden he gets down here to the corner, almost saves it, and all of a sudden Sam Hornish comes in there, and they get together, and this time around Jamie goes, almost the same place it was before. Keeps it off the outside safer barrier, but looks like he'll get 4 good years and come back around and regain the battle.
Getting ready for the restart. Kyle Busch has led 122 of 194 laps, and he's out front as they get the green.
Just an update on Greg Biffle in the 16 car. Krista was talking about them changing 2 tires at the last minute. Greg Irwin, the crew chief, called an audible, went with 4 tires like everyone else after 60 laps since the last caution.
Good audible.
Big day for Toyota so far. 4 of the first 7 spots with Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Marcus Ambrose, David Rudiman.
I'll tell you, I'm pretty impressed with Marcus Ambrose today. I mean, he is on it. He's trying to put a nose up under Jeff Gordon there and get by him right now.
Casey Mears, the 07, a lap down. Denny Hamlin, the 3rd place car in the 11.
Might be in the Little Debbie's car today, but he's playing big with the big boys right now.
Yes, he is. Yeah, pretty impressed with his run. We talked about David Rudiman, his teammate back there in 7th, and Juan Pablo Montoya in the 42 car, still solidly in the top 10 after qualifying 12th.
Marcus has an auction going on to benefit the volunteer fire departments in his native Australia fighting the bushfires. Go to marcusambrose.com for details, and maybe next week we'll have a chance to show you some of the neat stuff that he is doing to try to help. Kyle Busch, your leader as we cross the 200 lap mark in Bristol.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of Joey Logano and the number 20 team. By 12 Rounds, starring John Cena, Friday only in theaters. And by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, get the good stuff.
Well, Kyle Busch picking up just where he left off, running off from the field while it's still very close quarters all the way back through as we have 27 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, but there's some good. I mean, the 48's just kind of lurking not too far back and keeping pace pretty well with the 18 right now.
And we got a pretty good battle right now back for the 12th position between Carl Edwards and the 99. And how about Travis Kvapil in that 28 car? He qualified in the 17th position. He's battling Carl Edwards. In our news and notes in the pre-race show, talked about Travis Kvapil losing his ride. I'd more like to phrase it that I think they're going to be closing that team down due to lack of sponsorship. It's not like Travis Kvapil is going to be replaced.
Yeah. With Travis, it's no dough, no go.
There you go.
Dick Bergman.
Yeah, Larry's got it exactly right. If they don't come up with a sponsor between now and Martinsville, the team is gone. The crew chief, Ben Leslie, has a job. He works for the Ford Motor Company, but everybody else will go unemployed. And so just as the race began, here's what Travis Kvapil said to his team. This is our last race here, and we need to show them how bad we want to race this year. Perhaps if they have a terrific run, somewhere along the line, somebody might see the value of sponsoring this number 28 car, and they can go to Martinsville and beyond. And that is their desire.
I think they're missing the boat. If a company doesn't come on board with that car with Travis Kvapil and Yates Racing, I think they're missing the boat. There's Marcos Ambrose. He just drives by the 24 car of Jeff Gordon. That moves him up to the 4th spot.
And we've talked about this as one of the Michael Waltrip's cars, and they have an affiliation with Michael Waltrip Racing, but the car is owned by Jody and Tad Geschechter and Brad Doherty, former NBA All-Star and now a part of the ESPN broadcast team. Doherty finished 2nd last night in his celebrity race as part of the Scott Saturday night special, and had a blast doing it. So a great weekend all the way around for this team.
And Frankie Kerr, the crew chief on that car, he was over there with Rudiman for a while with Michael, and he's a good crew chief. He knows how to get a car set up for these kind of racetracks.
40 laps to halfway.
And this car here, Darrell, Kurt Busch and the 2-car Pat Tryson, what a great recovery they've made. Remember, they were involved in that chain reaction back on lap 59 when Todd Bodine wrecked on the front straightaway. They've stayed on the lead lap, and now, Steve, they have worked their way almost to the top 15 up in 16th.
Larry, it's like you guys said, you don't have to have a pretty car to win here. What Kurt's fighting right now, though, is they don't have a lot of grip, and that's what they worked on in the last pit stop.
They've definitely made a nice recovery with that 2-car, a place that he's won 5 times here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Those first 4 cars are just back to Jeff Gordon, actually. They're matching lap times. They're 16:40s, and there'll be 2 or 3 or 4 one way or another, but pretty much matching lap times right now.
500 laps at Bristol. Jeremy Mayfield once described it as going around in a closed drive for 3 hours and somebody loses a sock or 2. But as these drivers approach today's race, what do they think of going 500 laps at this place?
When a race starts, you're not thinking about the 500 lap. You're thinking about the first lap and taking care of business right now.
If you go into it thinking 500 laps, it just makes for a miserable day because it takes, it seems like it takes forever.
I remember I think it was the first Cup race I ran here, one of the first Cup races. Man, I was driving my guts out, and Bobby Hudson was spotting for me. He said, "All right, that's 200 down, 300 to go." I thought, you got to be kidding me, man.
That's where we are right now, 217 of 500 laps complete.
And then the thing about racing here now with this new racetrack configuration, don't get that many cautions. We do a lot of green flag racing, and man, that will get to you. That will wear you out.
I'm hesitant to say it, but this is about the time of the race we get those long green flag runs.
Yeah, everybody's kind of adjusted up, kind of know what they got. You've learned to kind of deal with it, whether it's a little loose, a little tight. And so now you just put some laps in.
Now, that's a car we've not talked a lot about. Clint Boyer in that 33 car right now. He's up in the 14th position. Clint qualified in the 31st position, but didn't qualify on Friday. It's like the racetrack for the first 10 or 12 cars was just very slick. Clint Boyer's had a fast race car in every single practice.
Yeah, he had a bad qualifying draw, but I watched him through the first 100 laps there. Very aggressive, trying to work his way through traffic and get up to a place where he can run the car at his own pace without being in constant side-by-side traffic.
You know, on the old racetrack, there were all kind of...
Oh, boy.
Look out.
Wow, another. That's about the third thread-the-needle job by Boyer.
On the old racetrack, there were all kind of excuses for running over each other. Actually, on this track, there are no excuses for running over each other. You got a lot of room to operate here. We've seen 3 wide, a lot of passes, easy to get around here now.
Back up front, Kyle Busch has opened up 1.9 seconds on Jimmy Johnson. But as Darrell pointed out, they continue to run virtually identical lap times.
Stay tuned for more NASCAR on Fox.